Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we're actually going to be changing my PCV valve, aka positive crank ventilation system. I know you can just clean them out and reuse them, but I actually went on ahead and bought the whole mechanism here. We have the whole assembly with the hose clamps and other tubes, and it looks like a little sensor that plugs in there. Let's hope everything goes according to plan, and if this thing does work out, I'll put a link in the description or a part number so you guys can pick one up as well and use the same piece that I did. I'm not sure if all PCV systems are created equal or not, but for sure it'll work on an 06, 07, 2.5 WRX. The PCV valve is very important and often overlooked. If you're experiencing rough idle or poor mileage, it could be a cause of a bad PCV valve. My car has a lot of mileage. It's almost up to 150,000, so I'm for sure my PCV valve needs to be replaced. You're looking for a clicking noise when you shake it. And if you don't hear that clicking noise, it means there's some gunk buildup in there and the PCV valve isn't functioning properly. Just gunk gets gunked up. Gunky gunk gunk. The PCV valve on my motor, the 2.5 liter, is right under the intercooler. So we're just going to pull that off and we should have access to it. And we're going to get it swapped out. 12mm bolt on this side, 12mm bolt on that side. 12mm bolt. We're just gonna get this intercooler off. We got 12mm bolts on each side, or you probably do, but mine's missing on that side, of course. There's always something missing on this car. Wear and tear right here. The whole bushing just broke in half, but that's all right. I mean, might as well order the whole set so I can finish that side up as well, because this side doesn't have a bolt or a washer or nothing. It doesn't have any of the rubber grommet. Now we got a partial rubber piece on this side. You know, just kind of go roll with the punches here. Just roll with the punches. So yeah, we got both bolts out. Bam, bam. Never had one on that side, but my car seemed to work just fine. Anyways, gonna move on to our bypass valve here. Gonna be the same 12mm bolts. You've seen me do this in my other videos. So got a couple hose clamps to get off. Mine's gonna be 10mm. Got some wiggling going on here. Going ahead and pull off our hoses. Maybe a couple on each side. There we go. And now we're just gonna wiggle our intercooler off and we should be able to access our PCV. PCV valve is right down here. So we gotta kind of dig it out. We gotta get this tube out of the way. So I'm going to disconnect this piece here. Gonna pull this tube off. Hopefully nothing squirts out at me. Alright, so that is gonna be a coolant line. So this coolant line might actually spray you with a little bit of coolant, but what I did, I went on ahead and undid the radiator cap to relieve some pressure. Of course my car is cooled down by now, but there was a little bit of pressure in the line, so just be cautious when pulling this piece off. Just gonna take off the rest of this coupler here. Give me a little bit more room to work. Always skip some steps. There's always some steps you gotta skip before you realize you skipped it. Cool, cool. Now we can get this tube up a little bit so we can see where this PCV valve connects to. Looks like it mounts right under. How the hell are you supposed to get a freaking down there? It's kind of hard to show you guys. It's a little difficult to film anything on a Subaru, really. May or may not be able to see. This tube connects just under the throttle body here. You can't really see, but there's a clamp there, and I'm gonna get that clamp off to get this tube off. And I gotta get this stupid thing back on there. Fuck that. Alright, I came to the conclusion that I'm not gonna replace every single thing. I'm gonna leave this tube on my car. Since it's so difficult to get to, I'm gonna unplug this little sensor here, this little white part. There's a little latch at the top, little lever. Click it and then give it a nice pull. And then we're gonna go down, move on to the next part. And we're upside down. We're gonna get this tube off, gonna get that clamp off, and then give the PC valve a little pull and it should come up and off. And there's the first piece of it coming out. It was connected right into there and I was pulling it up and it just kind of came off from the rubber piece. No biggie, we're gonna go in and get this other piece off now. You can see there's a clamp down there, but I broke that free the last time I took this off. I just checked out the PCV valve to see what it looked like. They're pretty difficult. I don't know, people just end up just snipping it and replacing the whole thing, but if you're careful you can reuse it. But mine's kind of bent out of whack, so I'm obviously not going to reuse this one. But yeah, don't feel bad when you can't figure it out, because it is pretty difficult. It's kind of wheel. Whoa, hey, look at that, came off, nice. Now this new PCV valve little assembly here didn't actually come with a clamp for the bottom piece. I'm not sure if they want you to reuse your old clamp or not, but it's pretty snug on there. I mean, just to push it on. And since this other tube is still in pretty good shape, the one that's connected down there still, I'm gonna remove the new one and just connect it to where the old one ends right there. I don't think it'll hurt anything. I'm just gonna reuse it. There we go, the nice shiny new PCV valve there. Wiggles nicely. That's what we want. We want some good shaky. This is the old one. Still does shake a little bit, but definitely not as free as the brand new one. A little bit of shaky, a lot of bit of shaky. All right, so we got the new PCV valve right here. I'm gonna feed the little coupler on there now. Hopefully it'll wiggle on. Should be pretty snug though, because there's not gonna be a clamp holding it on. All right, press that on. Took a little bit of pressure, just a wee bit of pressure on there. Let's connect our little, looks like a little sensor, I'm not entirely sure, but just click that back in place. Make sure everybody's happy, there's no check engine lights when you're all done. Just move this piece out of the way again, just kind of slide it up here. That way we can connect our hose right about here. Okay, slowly going on, slowly going on. There we go, all the way snug, all the way flush against it. Get that clip snugged up against it. All the way up so nothing comes off. Slide this back. And there you have it. Okay, so we got our PCV valve back on. Everything looks okay. Now we're just going to pretty much put back this, it looks like a coolant tube, or that's what was coming out when I took it off. We're gonna put that back on, the little nipple there. And whatever other hoses we took off, it wasn't much. Gonna get this hose back on and get that intercooler back on. We'll give her a startup and see what happens, if any check engine lights come up, or if we did it all correctly. I'm pretty confident we did. That concludes this little install, I guess. Make sure you get all your tools out of the engine bay. We're gonna give it a first start up here. See what happens, see if we get any check engine lights, and determine if we did everything correctly. I'm not sure how you screw this up, it's just a couple tubes, but if you can screw this up, I would be the one to screw this up. I mean, anything can go wrong, really. Everything seems normal. I think we did a good job. We'll let her get up to temperature and then we'll give it a couple revs and see if everything still seems to be all right. Sounds good to me, nothing out of the ordinary. Well, good morning, neighbors. Hope you don't mind my loud car in the morning. Ah, they're used to it by now. Who cares? One more for the neighbors. I love that sound. It brings a smile to my face every time. Not sure if I'll notice anything right away, but it's a peace of mind knowing that I replaced it and I can go another however many thousand miles before the recommended replacement is. I'm sure anyone can do it out there, and I just decided to make this video because I didn't see any PCV valve replacements on an 06 WRX or the 2.5 liter turbo, so I decided to make my own video. I'm a DIY type of guy, you know, depending on the experience levels and the difficulty of the replacement. So if I can do it myself, I will definitely do it in my garage and save a couple $100 on labor and all that good stuff. I just want to help out people out there, you know, who aren't really sure on how to do it, and I just kind of showed them how to do it, and that's the way I did it. So if you find a better way to do it, you go on ahead and do it that way. I'm doing it this way, and well, just life goes on, right? Life goes on. It doesn't really matter what way you tackle this job. I mean, as long as you get the same result in the end, that's really all that matters. Alright guys, say alright guys in all the videos. But yeah, that's gonna wrap this video up. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope it can help you out one day when it's your turn to replace your own PCV valve. And I will leave a link in the description, or at least a part number, for the PCV valve whole assembly that you'll need for this job. And other than that, yeah, we'll catch you on the next video, and we will see you then. Alright guys, take it easy, be safe out there, and don't speed. I don't know what behemoth freaking pterodactyl bird shot on my car, but man, this is a big one. I'm gonna let this kind of soften up before I get to scrubbing on there. I try not to park under any trees or any street lights or anything like that. So apparently I parked under something, and bam, the bird got me. Or it was a nice little flyby drop-a-dookie thing. Kind of looks like a flyby drop-a-dookie. But I know it's shitty, and I don't like it. I'll throw this little rag away here. It's not worth it. The shit catastrophe is over. We gotta dig our old PCV valve out. PCV valve out.